I feel like I never get to make this style of video where I kind of just sit down and have a little chat with you, kind of a one-on-one bonding moment, if you will. In this video, I just wanted to kind of reflect on the past year. I want to talk about my businesses, specifically my dropshipping, print-on-demand digital product businesses, as well as the YouTube business, because that's kind of a new business and new revenue streams for me just from the past year, as well as talk about some of my expectations and my goals for 2024. So if that stuff sounds interesting to you, then I'll have timestamps down below the video so that you can jump around and see different topics that I'm talking about, depending on what you're interested in. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So overall, how is the business doing? Specifically, I want to start with the dropshipping and digital products businesses that I kind of have in a bundle and the businesses that I talk about here on the channel. So 2023 was by far the most successful year that I've had so far. I think in terms of total revenue growth, we did 80% more revenue than the prior year, which is actually less growth than I'm used to. I'm usually growing my businesses between 100 and 200% each year. So this was the least amount of growth. However, this was the first year where I actually drastically pulled back on the amount of time that I was investing into the business. So all of that 80% growth, 80% new sales came in with me doing probably 80% less work, which is super cool. Basically, what that means is I was doing 20% of the work in 2023 that I was doing in 2022, but I made 80% more money. So that just goes to show how passive this style of business can be if you set it up in the right way. This is the entire reason that I actually went out and started this business in the first place. So I think I'm going on my 5th year in business now. Yeah, about the 5th year. And I've been doing it full time for about 4 years. And it really has become just such a passive source of income. It's kind of become this beast or this engine that just generates income when I can just kind of sit back and then do a little bit of work here and there. It really is like less than 4 hours a week. Having it set up that way has really allowed me the time and the resources financially to pursue things that I would rather go after. And so I'll talk about this a little bit more, but I've really kind of viewed the whole dropshipping, print-on-demand digital products space, that kind of bundle of businesses, as a little bit of a stepping stone. And so what I mean by that is, I think for a lot of people, making $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000 a month, depending on the month, would be amazing income. And people would probably be like, that's fine. Like, I'll take that. And that's great income. I mean, that's what a lot of, I guess, corporate America makes in an entire year, or not an entire year, but that's what like really high level corporate employees will make, $20,000, $30,000 a month. So if you can make that online and only work, maybe even just a couple hours a day, I think that is like a golden opportunity and something that a lot of people would aspire for. But for me, I've kind of viewed this business opportunity as a little bit of a stepping stone. And so what I mean by that is like, after I've hit these marks, I kind of realized that my ability to grow these shops to, hundreds of thousands of dollars, it does kind of cap out at a certain point where you have to invest a whole new amount of energy into the business to continue growing it past a certain point. And I found that kind of tipping point to be between $200,000 and $300,000 each year. After that, it becomes a lot more difficult to continue scaling that business. So you're kind of left, opening a new shop or, going back to double down on that original business and grow it even further. For me, I've always kind of gone with the easier route, which is just opening a new shop and growing that one up. And that's been very effective, but it also has been the easier method. So I am leaving money on the table. But we're bringing that full circle, saying that, I've kind of viewed this business model as a stepping stone, making that amount of money per month, whether it's $20,000, $30,000, or $40,000 a month, like that amount of money, at least for me, has been kind of a stepping stone in allowing me to pursue things that I might be a little bit more passionate about. You might be able to understand that, selling mugs or t-shirts or posters or even digital download art is not like a deep passion of anyone's, and especially mine. Like, it was never my ideal dream to just be, selling mugs online. But all things considered, like, It was a passion of mine to have freedom, both financially and location-based freedom. It was also a dream of mine to grow a business online. And so in those aspects, like, it's been an absolute dream come true. But then there's also, other aspects of like, well, if you can have those things and, look at another business, well, maybe you just need a way to get there. You need a position to actually move into some of those other businesses that might be a little bit higher level and require more resources to start. So I think from where I'm at right now, the businesses that I've grown have allowed me to do other things and pursue other projects that I've been a little bit more passionate about, like making these videos. 5 years ago when I was starting dropshipping, if you would have asked me to make YouTube videos, I would have felt really stuck because I didn't have all of the time, I didn't have the resources and the money to make it happen. And now I feel like over the past year, because I've had such a passive business that's generating me tens of thousands each month, I'm able to kind of take a step back and focus on something that I really am passionate about, which is making content here on YouTube. Again, I think the whole dropshipping business model is a phenomenal opportunity, and I don't want that income to go anywhere, nor do I think it will. But just building that up and kind of recognizing that it's not something that is going to be my long-term, 10 or 20-year mission just to, dropship products, but instead to learn the principles of business, learn how to grow businesses, and prove to myself over and over that I can, make a business and make income online. That's what's really cool to me. And the fact that it allows me the freedom and the resources to pursue other things is what I love so much about the dropshipping, print-on-demand digital products that I've kind of developed over the past few years and that I share here on my channel. So reflecting on the past year, it's been incredibly encouraging and inspiring that it's been able to continue growing really without much of my own input. And I'm excited to see what happens over the next year, whether I decide to double down back on the same business and continue to scale it, hopefully past, that $30,000 per month mark, or if I decide to pivot and pursue something else that I might be just a little bit more passionate about. I just want to circle back. I just, again, want to really emphasize the fact that I think it's one of the best beginner businesses just because of the platform that allows you to grow and build yourself so that you can pursue things that you're probably more passionate about that aren't just print-on-demand dropshipping. Now, a newer business, which is still in the infancy stage, is my YouTube channel. So these videos that I've been posting on my channel for the last year, this is kind of my second business and my side hustle, if you will. Kind of started a year ago as my side hustle where I wasn't expecting much, and it's grown into a very large income stream over the past year. And I actually think I started YouTube in November of 2022. So about a year, but I don't think I posted the first month or so. So it's been about a year that I've been consistent on YouTube. And over that time span, I've had a lot of failures and a lot of accomplishments as well. Now, for the failures, probably the biggest failure that everyone is probably aware of by now is the $0 to $100,000 challenge that I started. That was basically the birth of my channel. It was my first content series that I came out the gate swinging with, and I was planning on essentially growing a print-on-demand shop on Etsy from $0 to $100,000 in sales over the course of what would have been this year. So ending, this month. And obviously, there were some issues that came up that prevented that challenge from happening. This challenge ate at me the entire time that I was doing it. So I just think that I wasn't really ready for what I signed up for. We actually started out really strong. I think in the first couple months, I did $9,000 or something in sales, which wasn't too bad. And I was on track to hit the $100,000 mark by the end of the year, which for most people is pretty realistic if you're consistent with things. The issue was that in one of the videos that I uploaded, I accidentally leaked the name of the shop that I had just started out. So it was pretty much a newborn shop, right? It had only been open for maybe a couple months, and I accidentally leaked the shop name in one of the videos. And this essentially killed the shop. What ended up happening was that, tens of thousands of people who saw that video before I noticed this was an issue, they went over to the shop that I had started, and a lot of them just ended up copying the listings that were already selling. So they ended up copying the products that I was successfully selling, and they just put them in their own shops and started selling them themselves, which essentially just flooded the market kind of with duplicate listings so mine wouldn't get sold, as well as all of those thousands of people who clicked over to the shop. It killed the conversion rate on the shop. And so basically Etsy, where I started the challenge, saw a bunch of people coming to the shop and all of the listings. You know, it looked like a bunch of shoppers coming to look and shop, and then nobody bought. And so it took the conversion rate and turned it from maybe a 3.5% conversion rate down to like a 0.1% conversion rate. And so Etsy basically shadow banned the shop and prevented it from showing up in search because they thought, oh, all these products suck. Nobody wants to buy them. After that whole situation happened, I decided to pivot a little bit and open up a brand new shop, basically starting over from scratch as far as the algorithm is concerned. And after maybe a month of trying that new shop, I gave up. I couldn't make myself do it any longer. And I totally just gave up on the entire challenge. To me, this is still probably the biggest failure that I feel like I had over 2023. I definitely could have doubled down. I could have gone back and I could have started the challenge and I could have just pushed through, grinded it out and gotten to 100K. Like, I could have done those things. I just feel like I at the time, I just couldn't make myself do it. I was kind of like over the challenge. I had started over so many times with my own businesses that it just felt like I was back in 2019 when I was getting started. It just felt really gross to me. And so that was by far like my biggest regret almost, is just not completing the challenge. I think that completing it would have provided a lot of value to you. Just seeing, you know, someone actually in real time growing an entire shop. Obviously, that's pretty cool. And I just felt like, I don't know, I just felt like I couldn't complete it. And so just being transparent, that's really what happened with the challenge, is I gave up on it because I didn't want to complete it. I was just totally over it. And after we lost all momentum, after maybe 2 or 3 months of, you know, pushing on with it, I just gave up. Now, despite that failure, I was still able to kind of come out on top of the YouTube game, and I was able to hit my goal for the year, which was to post at least 1 video a week. Now, I started with the challenge because I thought, okay, if I can just do this challenge, I'll automatically have a video a week because I'll just post an update video on the challenge each week throughout the year. And that was my original plan. And after I started seeing that the challenge wasn't really going to, you know, pan out exactly how I wanted, I decided to shift my content a little bit and just, you know, talk about other things that were a little bit more interesting to me, and maybe shift a little bit into the teacher position instead of the learner position that I had already been in for like 3 years. And so that little shift was kind of a big change because I still had to hit my goal of posting at least 1 video a week. Now, that ended up being my biggest success of 2023 because as a lot of you will know, you know, if you've ever tried doing something completely new, or like starting a new business or a new side hustle, it is actually quite difficult. It takes a lot of time and a lot of attention and focus and learning to make something new happen. And so posting a video a week was my goal, and just making it the best video that I could. And that's what I was actually able to do. I didn't miss a single week in 2023. Now, the reason that that was such a huge success for me is because I completely underestimated the amount of work that goes into growing a YouTube channel. The amount of time and commitment that you have to put in to actually grow a channel and actually get good results is extraordinarily high. Now, from a viewer standpoint, this is a good thing because there's a ton of great content on YouTube. If you just look at the browse page, everybody's content is amazing. You want to click it, you want to watch it. You could spend days just watching YouTube videos and you wouldn't get bored. But from a creator standpoint, I'm competing with everyone else's content that's a lot better than I feel like mine is. And so I have to continuously level up my content. I have to make better thumbnails, better titles, get better ideas. I have to make the content more valuable and more entertaining. Not like this video. This is just a talking video, but you get the point. And there's a lot that goes into each video, and you don't even start to underestimate, or you don't even start to understand how much effort goes into each video until you're actually making videos. It's the same with pretty much every business that I've tried. Now, I actually think I talked about this in last week's video when I brought up this meme. And the meme explains how all you have to do to be successful is learn and try. And you find that out at the beginning when you're just starting out. You're like, okay, if all I do is learn about something and then I try to do it and I take action, then I'll eventually get there. But then you kind of enter this valley of despair where you don't really know what's going on. Like, you're finding out that there's so many different things that you have to learn about and that you have to try doing for you to actually get any results. But if you can continue to learn and try throughout that rut, that you'll actually find success on the other side. And you realize that the whole time, really all you had to do was learn and try. I found this to be so true because whether it's YouTube or drop shipping, any business that I want to do, I literally just have to learn about it and then go apply what I've learned and then go back to learning a little bit and then apply a little bit more of what I've learned. And if I do that process enough times, then I will eventually become successful in whatever I'm trying to do. Now, I also wanted to talk about why I started YouTube. Why did I start making these videos? And if I already had a successful business, why do I need to make YouTube videos as well? So there's several reasons, and I'll dive into each of them. But first is no secret that YouTube channels that talk about business and finance and making money make a lot of money. And so I viewed this as an opportunity to take the business that I was already doing and kind of add a lever to it where I can squeeze more money out of the business that I'm already doing. Not directly, because I'm not making more money in the business, but I'm making more money as a consequence of having the business. So I'll break this down a little more. There's really 4 channels that you can use to make money with a YouTube channel. The first is with ad revenue. Now, I feel like everyone knows how this works by now, but just in case, when you watch a video on YouTube, they will play ads at the beginning, sometimes in the middle, or at the end of a video, and YouTube will split that ad revenue with the creator. So if there's an ad on my video, I will get 50% of whatever the advertiser paid YouTube to run that ad on my video. Because I make videos talking about business and finance and specifically drop shipping, people can sell products that are very high ticket, like courses or information products or subscription services like Shopify website builders or things like that cost a lot of money over time. And because those are expensive products, advertisers are willing to pay a lot more money to run those ads, which means I get paid more when those ads are displayed. And so I actually get a lot of money per ad that's shown to the viewers, to you guys. Now, ad revenue is great. There was a month where I made almost $1,000 a day. I've made, maybe $500 to $1,000 consistently, since maybe June. But the thing about ad revenue is it's very inconsistent because it's entirely based on the views that you're getting per video and how many ads people watch in each video. So there's a lot of variability in it and it can go up and down a lot. So all of that to say, it's just not my favorite, but it's been really nice over this past year. The next way to monetize is with sponsorships. Now, from my YouTube career, which has been 1 year in total, I've taken one sponsorship. Now, I took the sponsorship with Printify because I've used them for the past 5 years. So it just made sense to take the sponsorship once they approached me. I was already making videos talking about how to use Printify to do print-on-demand dropshipping, which is something I've done since 2019. They approached me and asked me if they could pay me to mention them in my videos, which I was already doing. So I told them that, yeah, that was great. And then in some videos that I would mention Printify, they would send me a check just for mentioning them and kind of, building up that Printify brand recognition in my own videos, even though I was already doing it. So that ended up being a pretty nice source of income as well. Now, another source of revenue that's just pretty new to me is the course that I dropped. So about a month ago, I announced a course to just teach people about the print-on-demand dropshipping digital product stuff that I talk about on my channel, just in a lot more detail. So if you want everything that I know about it, you can buy the course. And that's just an option for people who would like a little bit more knit and grit detail about the business that I don't give on the channel because it won't get watched. So over the last month, it's been massively successful, but we'll just have to see how it does over the next couple years. Now, my final monetization strategy is with affiliate marketing. So when I'm teaching something, usually with dropshipping, I'm able to create a link in my description of the video. And when people sign up through those links, it'll track that it was my link that caused them to sign up. So if the people who sign up with my links are successful, then I get kind of a kickback fee or a commission on all of the sales that they make when they're successful. So it's really a win-win. If I'm creating people who are successful with the business that I teach, I get paid. This is super cool because over the last year, I can see hundreds of people have signed up and started making consistent money online using the methods that I teach. And some people are absolutely crazy. I was scrolling through it the other day and I noticed one guy had spent over $90,000 in product, which is just the product. So with dropshipping, you'll spend money on the product itself, like the t-shirt, and then the shipping. So if they're just spending $90,000 on the t-shirts or whatever product they're selling and not even anything else, then they're doing quite well. Like, he's definitely pulling in six figures from his business that he started within the last 9 months. So seeing stuff like that is extremely cool. And it's probably the most passive income that I have, because as I get people to sign up and grow their own successful shops, I get paid that kickback fee. And it continues to be passive because as they're more successful, I become more successful as well. Between all of this, I make tens of thousands of dollars a month, which I'm incredibly grateful for. But I didn't just want to do YouTube for the money. I also wanted to do it to test myself and push myself out of my comfort zone. I wanted to actually grow. Like, making YouTube videos is not something that's natural for almost anyone, and especially me, as someone who's never really done something like this. So just by forcing myself to kind of learn the skill and get on camera and start making videos, learn how to structure them, make thumbnails and titles, and all of the skills associated with it, it's completely new. And so it really helped me to kind of push my comfort zone and expand my limits. This also allows me to contribute back to the body of knowledge that I've learned from. Everything that I teach on my channel is stuff that I've learned from trial and error. And so I'm able to give back to the YouTube community that I learned from 5 years ago. I'm also excited to do this because I know that a lot of the information online doesn't work for everyone. And so hopefully I'm able to provide new perspectives that, as I've seen, actually does work for a lot of people. I know I've shared a lot of thoughts and I'm kind of all over the place, but what happens next in 2024? Well, first, I'm really focused on putting together an awesome team. I'm looking at hiring an editor for my videos, someone who can help me build out thumbnails, and possibly scripting and structuring my videos. So my top priority for the channel this coming year is to first put out great content, but also build a team, not just of freelancers who I'll throw work at here and there, but people who I can work with regularly to produce the best content possible. If you are interested in working with me, then you can email me at jobs@alexsheffield.com, and you can send me some of the stuff that you've created before, whether that's shorts or long form video editing, or if you're good at thumbnails or whatever, just send it over and maybe we can talk. But besides that, I've also got a lot of good print-on-demand dropshipping digital download videos planned for the beginning of the year, which are already kind of planned and in motion, so those will be coming out, as well as some challenge ideas that I could potentially be starting, but we'll see about those because I'd want to actually follow through this time. Overall, I think the most important thing for me is to create refreshing, authentic, and highly valuable content throughout this next year that improves every single week. I guess to kind of tie all of these thoughts together, I'm kind of looking at my next big business move, whether that's going to be doubling down on my dropshipping or doing a slight pivot into something else, while keeping the channel and improving the content every single week. I want to create videos that are as valuable as possible while doing something that I'm extremely passionate about. Again, I'm extremely grateful for everything that's happened this past year. And I just think that 2024 is going to be another year like 2023, just even better and even more exciting than the year before. Again, thank you for watching this video. If you made it this far, that'd be incredible. And thank you for subscribing to everyone who's subscribed over the past year. Those 300,000 subscribers that I got just within 1 year has been absolutely life-changing, and I didn't think that it was going to come as fast as it did, but here we are. So I'm excited for everything that we've got planned for 2024. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay dangerous.